In this video, you will learn on how to perform trapezoidal rule. So basically, we will use trapezoidal rule to approximate definite integral, or in other words, we want to approximate the area of a function. So in the topic of integration, you already learned on how to find the definite integral of every single function by using different techniques, which are basic rule or integration by substitution, integration by part, or integration by partial fraction. But sometimes you will still encounter a situation where you cannot integrate the function directly by using all these techniques. So in order to approximate the answer, we will use trapezoidal rule. So these are the main idea behind trapezoidal rule or trapezium rule. Basically, we want to find the approximate area. Means that we want to find the area under the graph. So what do we do here? We will cut each bounded area below the graph by using the approach of trapezium shape, and we will have few trapezium. Means that now we will find the area of each trapezium. That's why we name this as trapezium rule. So these are the main formula for trapezium rule. We have few symbol in this formula. So first we have n. N is basically number of strips or number of subinterval. Next one we will have a, which is the lower limit. B is the upper limit. So for these three items, we will use it to find h, which is the formula b minus a over n. Why do we need to find h? Because we will use h into our final formula. So let's do some example to check our understanding for trapezoidal rule. So by using trapezoidal rule, calculate an approximate value of integral of 0 up to pi over 2 of sed sine x plus cos x dx using 5 equal subintervals. Give your answer correct to 4 decimal places. Okay, so if we check the function sed of sine x plus cos x, it's quite tedious to integrate this function. That's why we decide to use trapezoidal rule. So based on the formula, before we start compute it, we must determine three main things first. First is a. A in this case is lower limit, so it's 0. Next, our upper limit or b. In this case, it's pi over 2. And then last one would be n or our interval. So in this case, it's 5 intervals. Sorry, 5 subintervals. Or sometimes they will use the term of strips. Okay, after we determine these three things, we may start compute h. So h in this case will be b minus a over n. So pi over 2 minus 0 divided by 5. So we will get pi over 10. Okay, so once we finish with h, now we may start construct a table to find all values of x and y, right? So our table will consist of three different columns. It's fixed. First columns would be value of x. So we will start with x naught, and x naught would be our lower limit. In this case, it's 0. Next one, x1. So in order to find x1, you just have to add with h. So just now our h is pi over 10. So I add with 0. That's why we get pi over 10 here. After that, x2. So we would have pi over 5. Next one, x3. It should be 3 pi over 10. Next one, x4. So we have 2 pi over 5. And then last one, x5. We will get pi over 2. And last value of x is basically our upper limit or b. Alright. So that's all value for x. Now we have to find the y value. So our function, I just rewrite it back. Sed of sine x plus cos x. Okay, so in order to find all the y values, you can compute it manually one by one, or you can compute the function into our calculator so that they can construct the table for you. So how do we do this? Okay, so once again, because this is trigo function, so make sure your calculator already in radian mode. Okay, now to construct a table, choose menu and then go to option number 9, which is table. And then first they will ask about the function fx. So our function in this case is set of sine x, okay, plus with cos of x. Alright, so next one, they will ask about gx. Gx is if you have any other function. In this case, we don't have it. We only have one function. Just ignore. So just press the equal button. Okay. After that, we will have to set the table range. So start value would be our lower limit, our A value. In this case, it is 0. Next one, n value would be our upper limit. In this case, it would be values of b. So just now we have pi over 2. Okay, I compute here pi over 2. Alright, and then last one for step. So step represent the h value. So value of h that we find just now is pi over 10. Okay, so I substitute here pi over 10. Okay. Alright, so after that, the calculator will compute the table for you. So basically for column X, it is basically the values of X. You can check it with your answer. Just now we find the exact value. So everything in the term of pi. The calculator provide decimal value of X. Okay. What do we want now is to find the Y value. Okay. So the first one would be the first value of y. In this case, our y naught would be 1. Okay. Next one, second value of x would be this thing. So for the second value, y1, we will use the third column. Why do we do this? After this, I will explain it more. Alright. And then for decimal places, alright, check it back. Because the question asks for 4 decimal places, as usual, your calculation will have more decimal places than final answer. So I will provide 5 decimal places here. 1.1225 Okay. Next one, the third value of y2, we will have 1.18186. Okay, y3, we will have coincidentally the same value, so 1.18186. Okay, next one, y4. Okay, next value from the table. So this is 1.2253. And then last value for y5, you rewrite it back on the second column, so we have 1. So for values of y, the first value and the last value, we will rewrite it in the second column, and the remaining value of y, we will write it on the third column. After that, you just have to sum it up. Okay, finally total every column. So for the second column, the first and the last value of y, we will get 2. And then the remaining value of y, if I total it up, we will get 4.60878. Okay, now we may compute our approximate area or approximate definite value for our question just now from 0 up to pi over 2 of sed sine x plus cos x dx. So our formula would be half times with h. H just now is pi over 10 times with, okay, just take the first value of y. So the first column for y, like we already total the first and the last value of y. So here we have 2 plus with 2, it's fixed now, 2 times with the remaining values of y that we already totaled up. So 4.60878. So that is fixed the formula. And then after that, you just have to compute it using your calculator. So we will get 1.7621 for 4 decimal places. And that would be the approximate of definite integral. So that's all for trapezium rule.